See what you did, Stephanie? Do you see the problems you have brought upon this team with your antics this season, Stephanie White? This is what you have done. Now we have to contemplate. We have to think about the what ifs. What ifs that shouldn't even exist because of the antics and the foolishness you pulled.
Forget the official narrative. The real story of the Indiana Fever season isn't the celebrated success. It's the ticking time bomb in their locker room. While you've been debating contracts and celebrating wins, a storm of pure disrespect has been brewing, aimed at the one player who is this team's undeniable spirit, Lexie Hall. Her heart has been tested, her loyalty questioned, and her value dismissed. What's happening behind the curtain will shatter your perception of Stephanie White's leadership, because the truth nobody is saying out loud is this. Lexie Hall is a free agent, holding all the power, and has been given every reason to burn her bridges with the very team she helped build from nothing.
6 Lexie Halls is a free agent this offseason. The Indiana Fever will protect her in the expansion draft, whatever. And Lexie Hall's gonna have suitors. With the way she performed down the stretch and in the playoffs, the way she was guarding, the way she had a couple big nights shooting the basketball, Lexie Hall is going to have suitors. You better believe the Portland Fire will be interested. The Seattle Storm will be interested, and they will be willing to probably pay her top dollar.
Let this sink in. 6 Lexie Halls. That's the player she becomes when a coach trusts her. When fate forced Stephanie White's hand and Lexie saw consistent minutes, she became a whirlwind of defensive intensity and clutch plays. She was a lockdown defender, a floor burn collecting warrior, and a dagger 3 shooter, the blueprint of a champion's role player. And the absurdity, after proving this beyond all doubt, White still found a way to chain her to the bench. Now Portland is making plans. Seattle is crafting a lucrative offer. The league is buzzing with a simple message. If Indiana doesn't want her, we will gladly take her. This isn't business. It's personal. White's actions weren't strategy. They were a dismissal of trust, a display of unchecked ego, and an insult to the foundation Lexie had already laid.
Bonehead Stephanie White. Let's be clear. Lexie Hall got straight up played and disrespected by this new Fever regime. Kelly Crosskoff, Amber Cox, Stephanie White straight up disrespected her. They acted as if Lexie Hall was not a part of the core 4 who helped turn this team around. It wasn't just CCAB and Kelsey. No, Lexie Hall was a huge part of that. A huge part of that before Stephanie White got here. Stephanie White came to the Indiana Fever and straight up disregarded everything Lexie Hall.
Let's call it what it is. A profound betrayal. No sugarcoating needed. This is the crux of the entire conflict. Before Stephanie White's tenure, a core 4 had already dragged at this franchise from the depths of irrelevance. You know the names: Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston. But the fourth, the essential glue, that was Lexie Hall. She was the defensive anchor, the player who earned Clark's trust, the one who sacrificed personal stats for team victories. Then Stephanie White arrives with her own agenda. Her first act, signing an aging DeWanna Bonner to a massive deal and handing her Lexie's starting spot, effectively erasing Hall's contributions. This was more than a lineup change. It was a slap in the face. The message to Lexie was loud and clear. Your hard work, your heart, your loyalty, it means nothing now. She wasn't outplayed. She was cast aside by a coach hired to build chemistry, who instead chose to detonate it.
All of a sudden, DeWanna Bonner quits on the team. She's no-showing it. She's no-showing work while receiving payments. Stephanie White is getting on the camera, lying to us, acting like everything is all good, lying to us when you knew everything wasn't all good. You knew that. Only for an article to come out the same day DeWanna Bonner refused to return to the team. You think Lexie Hall don't remember that? You threw me to the back burner for her and she quit. She didn't even have the decency to contact us, her teammates, and let us know she won't be coming.
And you think Lexie Hall has forgotten a single moment of that? Athletes possess memories forged in fire. They remember every slight, every unjust benching, every wordless declaration that they are not enough. They store it as fuel. For Lexie, The ignition switch was flipped the second DeWanna Bonner quit. Let's be honest. She abandoned her post. No call, no explanation, just gone. All while Stephanie White stood before the media and peddled a fiction of unity. Behind the scenes, the truth was chaos. Bonner had already checked out, ghosting the team while collecting her paychecks. Then the news broke. She refused to return. Imagine how that feels for Lexie. The player chosen over you deserts her team, and the coach who made that choice lies to the public about it. Suddenly they need you again, not from belief, but from desperation. That's not a chance at redemption. That's being used for damage control. That's not respect. It is the ultimate hypocrisy.
Okay, DeWanna Bonner skips town. Lexie Hall steps in, plays great basketball. Sophie Cunningham was dealing with an injury. Sophie Cunningham gets healthy. What do? What did Stephanie White do, y'all? Threw Lexie Hall to the back burner again and benched her. For no apparent reason. And I'm going to show you because I remember the cluster of games where I'm looking, I'm like, damn, Lexie not getting no.
So Lexie steps back into the breach and does precisely what everyone knew she would. She dominates. She infuses the team with grit, poise, and relentless energy. Indiana's defense is reborn. Caitlin Clark has her trusted partner back on the floor. The ball moves, the chemistry sings, and the team wins. Everything clicks. But then Sophie Cunningham returns to health. A solid player, no doubt. But what does Stephanie White do? She banishes Lexie to the bench again. No logic, no rationale, erased from the rotation. After saving the team from the Bonner implosion, after proving her worth for the 1,000th time, Lexie is sidelined as if it was all a dream. And in that moment, the truth becomes clear. This isn't about performance. It is about control. White's system isn't a meritocracy. It's a kingdom built on ego. If you don't fit her preordained narrative, you don't play no matter how much you've earned it.
This cluster of games right here, Lexie Hall, she played 15 minutes, 18 minutes, 14 minutes, 19 minutes, 21 minutes, 19 minutes, 19. Bro, in July, she wasn't even cracking 20 minutes a game. Lexie Hall, 6 Lexie Halls could not get 20 minutes in July.
The numbers are an indictment. July was supposed to be the month of playoff preparation. For Lexie Hall, it became a masterclass in marginalization. She couldn't get near 20 minutes a game. 15, 18, 14, 19. That's not managing a rotation. That's sending a message. And here's the truly insane part. This was happening when Indiana's defense was falling apart. They were desperate for the exact intensity and dirty work that Lexie brings by default. But instead of trusting the winning formula, Stephanie White kept her on a leash, chasing phantom lineups, starting Ari McDonald next to Clark, misusing Sophie Cunningham. Every experiment was tried except the one that worked. When you watch the tape and read the stats, the conclusion is unavoidable. Lexie Hall wasn't benched because she wasn't good enough. She was benched because someone in charge refused to admit they were wrong.
If you think Lexie Hall and her agent are not thinking about this, you have another thing coming. And if you think you are going to be able to get Lexie Hall back for dirt cheap, you have lost your mentals. You've lost it. Lexie Hall is going to be a commodity this offseason. You're going to have to pay top dollar.
This is the wake-up call Indiana is about to sleep through. If you think Lexie Hall and her agent aren't already fielding calls and planning an exit strategy, you are dreaming. When the market opens, offers will flood in, and they will be for a starting role and a starter's salary. Every front office in the WNBA sees what Indiana refuses to: a relentless defender who makes winning plays without needing a single play called for her, a glue player who elevates everyone, a warrior who wins playoff games. That is a rare and precious commodity. The Portland Fire would build their culture around her. The Seattle Storm desperately need her leadership. Even a champion like Las Vegas would find a place for her. Because players like Lexie Hall, the ones who do everything right, are the secret ingredient to a title. If Indiana doesn't recognize that, someone else will pay handsomely.
Just like you went and promised DeWanna Bonner things. Just like you clearly went and promised Natasha Howard things, which is why she could stink it up all year and you never benched her. You need to go ahead and let Lexie Hall know, hey, we're going to pay you good money and you are going to be a starter. You are a part of the core four. You will be a starter. You had no problem promising DeWanna Bonner stuff. You had no problem promising Natasha Howard stuff. She's walking in talking about winning MVPs and all types of nonsense. You need to have that same energy for Lexie Hall because she earned her keep here with the Indiana Fever.
Here's the uncomfortable truth. Indiana's priorities are fundamentally broken. The entire offseason has been a public relations campaign to re-sign Kelsey Mitchell. Every quote sounds like a love letter to one player. And while Kelsey is a brilliant scorer, where is that same energy for Lexie Hall? Where is the public praise, the reassurance that she is a non-negotiable part of their future? Indiana had no problem showering money on DeWanna Bonner before she proved a thing, and she quit. They hyped Natasha Howard, gave her the spotlight, and got inconsistent results. Meanwhile, Lexie has been the bedrock, the defensive engine, the steadiest player in a chaotic locker room, the one Caitlin Clark trusts most. And for her loyalty, she's been treated as an afterthought. This is beyond poor roster management. It is a calculated act of self-sabotage. While Indiana chases headlines, they are about to lose the one player who holds their entire culture together.
I ain't heard you say it. Don't sleep on Lexie and let somebody else don't let nobody else take your groceries. Don't let somebody else come in and steal your groceries. I'm telling you, because they will. Stephanie White has put the Indiana Fever in danger of losing Lexie Hall due to her bonehead moves and her negligence. Throwing that woman to the back burner when she was damn near the heart and soul. It's everywhere. She out there playing with two black eyes, all types of stuff. And that's the woman you kept throwing to the back burner? Is this
playing with two black eyes? That one image is the entire story of Lexie Hall. She isn't in it for the highlights. She is out there for the grind, the fight, the sacrifice. She bleeds for her team. That is what makes this situation so profoundly offensive. Stephanie White didn't just overlook a player. She disrespected the very soul of competition. Hall is the kind of player championship dynasties are built on. Relentless, selfless, fearless. You don't bench that. You build your identity around it. But White chose ego over chemistry, optics over results. And every player in that locker room has seen it. What message does that send? That hard work is irrelevant. That loyalty is a weakness. That doing everything right will earn you a spot on the bench. If Lexie Hall, the most reliable team-first player on the roster, can be treated as a spare part, then no one is safe. This isn't just bad coaching. It is a toxic culture problem. When your most selfless player gets punished, it's not the player who's broken. It is the system.
Lexie Hall can consider leaving the Indiana Fever if she does not get the proper promises from Stephanie White the same way that DeWanna Bonner and Natasha Howard got them. And I would.
This is the crossroads where Lexie Hall holds all the power, and she has every right to use it. If Seattle calls and says, "We'll give you a max deal, a guaranteed starting spot, and you will be the heart of our defense," why would she ever choose to stay in Indiana? What has this organization done to earn her loyalty this season? Stephanie White single-handedly created this mess. She put her faith in veterans who flamed out while marginalizing the young player who had already proven herself. She rewarded a player who quit while punishing the one who never stopped fighting. Now Indiana is on the verge of losing a cornerstone because their coach was blind to the talent in her own gym. To keep Lexie Hall, the Fever must act like she matters. That means real concrete guarantees, a starting role, a significant contract, and a public statement that she is their future. Anything less is an invitation for her to leave for a franchise that will finally respect her grind, because Lexie owes no loyalty to a system that treats loyalty like a flaw.
But if she said, "Hey, Seattle Storm, they're gonna give me a max and I'm gonna be a guaranteed starter. If you guys aren't offering me the same and valuing me that way, then I'm gonna leave," I wouldn't blame her. Get down in the comments and let me know what you think about this.
This is the real crisis that will define Indiana's offseason. It's not about one contract negotiation with Kelsey Mitchell. It's about whether Lexie Hall has finally had enough. Because if she walks out that door, it is more than a roster loss. It is a culture collapse. You can replace scoring, but you cannot replace heart, grit, and the kind of player who bleeds for the jersey. The Fever cannot preach a team-first gospel, while simultaneously benching the one player who embodies it. If they don't fix this now, they are not just losing Lexie Hall, they are losing the very soul of the rebuild they claim to have created.